The ANA #SeeHer movement studied 20,000 ads and discovered that 28% of TV ads negatively portray women, either through some form of objectification, stereotyping, or diminishing character portrayal.
So we know, ready? I don't want to shock you all, that men still run the world. And I'm not sure it's going that well. And more importantly, we have to recognize that women making progress in leadership has basically stalled over the last 10 to 12 years everywhere in the world. So as business people, we know that trends that go up for decades and then are flat for 10 to 12 years, they either stay flat or they go down. Women have 5% of the Fortune 500 CEO jobs in the United States and 5% or less in almost every country of the equivalent everywhere in the world. Women today run 11 countries, 11. And so we have to ask ourselves what's going on. And here's what's going on, is that we have these huge cultural differences in different parts of the world. And there are big differences and they affect gender, but there is one thing that is absolutely the same everywhere in the world, which is that we hold people to their stereotypes and we believe men should lead and women should follow and be communal. No matter what else is true of men and women everywhere in the world, it's true. By the way, we have all kinds of unconscious bias stereotypes around race too. If you take a white resume and a black resume, or sorry, the exact same resume, and you put a white name or a black name sounding on it, and you send out that identical resume, that white sounding name is worth 8 years of experience, 50% more callbacks. Nothing different except the name. And so the question is, what do we do? Well, the first thing we have to do is acknowledge that that stereotype exists and change it. So the next time you see a little girl called Bossy, probably this weekend on a playground, you walk right up to the people that called her that, probably her parents, and you say, that little girl isn't bossy. That little girl has executive leadership skills. Ready? I want to pause for 1 second. I'm going to say it the other way. That little boy has executive leadership skills. No humor. Mm-hmm. That's because humor is against our expectations. It's funny because it goes against our expectations. We're the good guys. Everyone in this room came to the panel at Cannes on women in advertising. And yet we laugh at a girl having executive leadership skills. That's how deep the stereotype runs for all of us. And admitting that all of us have that is the first thing we need to do.
And you mentioned something earlier to me that was racist advertising is absolutely not accepted, never be accepted. But there's some examples that maybe we can flash up here that indicates that apparently sexist advertising is still okay.
Exactly, and that's what really made me super angry, that advertising for the last 70 years, whether it's for cars or cigarettes or shoes, you know, women are props, parts, plastic, you know, certainly objectified without even a thought.
One action you want everybody to take as they're coming out of here today to be able to really promote gender equality. LaDonna.
Mentorship. I think be a mentor and find a mentor, and you know, don't mind if it's, you know, whatever the genders are. It's better to sort of ask people that don't have the same experience as you and really understand where they're coming from.
Great. Tina?
Co-opt the men's spaces for this message. I was very pleased that Tecate Beer won something for that ad that shows domestic violence in terms of the beer ad, because that's great. Get into that space, make that message, make it uncool to treat women badly.
Awesome. Cheryl?
Change the culture. This group can do it.
Yeah. And I'd add one more. Collaborate for good.
So find a credible connection to your brand, make it really focused, and that's not just not doing lots of things, it's focusing in on the essence of one big issue. So it's no good to just do gender equality, focus in on how, in Barbie's case, young girls can imagine all the possibilities open to them. No good just to say we want to be good for the environment, focus in on one specific issue within the environment. Because the issue isn't just making a connection between your brand and what matters to the audience. It's making a credible connection between your brand and what matters.